So this guy's gonna try and start a revolution by shooting up a Walmart. Now the guy's name is Jerad, and Jerad is 30 years old when this story starts, living in Indiana, and this dude, he's pretty much a turd. He's been in and out of jail a bunch of times for guns and assault and all kinds of stuff. Here's a mugshot if you want to see. But here's the thing about Jerad. He really hates the police. And one day in 2013, he decides to let the world know exactly how he feels. So he makes a YouTube video about his local police department where he complains about how horrible they treated him during his most recent arrest.
While another one illegally detained my wife there in the living room, would not let her leave the house.
Now, Jerad apparently likes to post things on Facebook, bashing the police, making himself sound like some kind of freedom fighter, but in reality, he's just a guy who can't stay out of jail. And he and his wife, this woman, Amanda, Jerad and Amanda, they're actually white supremacists. Which, just by looking at these two, I can tell you they aren't supreme anything. Taco Supreme. Anyway, with all of Jerad's arrests in Indiana and the fact that their landlord is evicting them, in 2014, Jerad and Amanda decide to move from Indiana all the way to Las Vegas, Nevada. And there, I guess to make some money, on the Vegas Strip, Jerad dresses up as Batman and Amanda dresses up as Harley Quinn, and they take pictures with tourists. Sometimes Jerad dresses up like the Joker, I guess. And here's another picture of him. And sometimes he'll even upload YouTube videos of himself doing anti-government rants dressed as the Joker.
Year after year, I've watched you Americans, my fellow citizens, vote for tyranny.
But then, that same year, Jerad finally gets his shot to stand up to the government that he hates so much. Because in Southeast Nevada, there's a small group of people. Some might even call them a militia. But they happen to be in a standoff with the US government over this local rancher allowing his cows to graze on government land. And you can look up the case if you want, but at one point, the government sues this rancher and he loses, and this feud escalates into a standoff, and other state militias show up to help him, and it eventually becomes an armed standoff over this rancher's cows grazing on government land that he doesn't own. Well, anyway, Jerad finds out about this armed standoff against the government, and he's like, woohoo, now's my chance! And he sells everything he can, and he takes Amanda out to this ranch in southeastern Nevada to join this movement. So now, finally, Jerad has found his people. People who love guns and paranoia and just general anti-government outrage. But then, I guess he's there with Amanda and all these militia people, and he starts spouting off his beliefs to all of them. Which I assume would include a lot of his, white power nonsense. And this apparently starts freaking out the other militia members. Those militia members are like, yo, this guy is nuts. And so literally, this group of anti-government gravy seals thinks Jerad and Amanda are just too extreme for them. And after only a few days there, they kick them out of the movement. And from there, I guess they move all the way back to Las Vegas. And of course, Jerad is all pissed off about this. I mean, this was his chance to face off against the government. In fact, he gets so mad that later he's leaving comments on YouTube videos about the incident, trying to explain his side. I was out there, but they told me and my wife to leave because I'm a felon. They don't seem to understand that they're all felons now for intimidating law enforcement with deadly weapons. Anyway, Jerad is not gonna give up quite yet. He still hates the police, he still hates those in power, and so he starts kicking around ideas to cause chaos. And he's coming up with a bunch of crazy plans, like taking over the courthouse, taking out a public official, or doing some sort of grand shootout that starts a revolution. But, for now, these are all just ideas. He's not really gonna do them. Until one day he actually decides to put one of these ideas into motion. He plans to start a shootout with some police officers because he apparently believes that this is somehow going to start some kind of revolution. I'm not sure if he thinks other citizens are suddenly going to join in and take their side. I don't know. I'm not really following his logic here. Regardless, he and Amanda start getting together all the stuff they're gonna need for this, like food and water and guns and armor-piercing bullets and like adult diapers so that they don't have to use the actual bathroom during this shootout. And the day before it's about to go down, Jerad posts one last cryptic status update on his Facebook page. The dawn of a new day. May all of our coming sacrifices be worth it. The next morning, they get up around 4:30 a.m. and they put on their tactical vests and their adult diapers. And they fill these big duffel bags with all their guns and ammo and shit. Then they leave and they wander around Las Vegas on foot, and I guess they're looking for random police officers to shoot. Several hours later, Jerad finally sees a couple of officers eating lunch at this pizza place, Cece's Pizza. And so, to scope this place out, Jerad walks in for a second, and he can see two officers sitting there at a table. They're on their lunch break eating. A few minutes later, he and Amanda walk back in, and Jerad walks up to the officers, he pulls out a pistol, and suddenly, blam, he shoots one of them. Then the other officer tries to draw his weapon, but blam, Jerad shoots him too. Then they both open fire on the officers until they're both unalived. Then Jerad drapes a Yahtzee flag and a Don't Tread on Me flag over one of the officers. And on the other officer, they leave a note. The beginning of the revolution. After that, Jerad and Amanda walk across the street to Walmart. And you can see here, there's surveillance footage of them walking, and you can see they got their bags and weapons and diapers. And so they walk inside the store, and Jerad suddenly yells, "Get out! This is a revolution! Police are on their way!" And blam, he fires a warning shot into the ceiling. And so, of course, the customers, they start freaking out, and they're all trying to run away or hide. And I think Jerad and Amanda's goal here is to cause a scene so that they can lure a bunch of police officers to the Walmart so that they can then have a shootout with them. And I don't know how that's going to start a revolution. I don't know. These guys are weird. Now, there's one customer in the store who has a concealed pistol on him, and he's gonna try to take these two out. And so he pulls out his pistol and he goes after Jerad. But he thinks Jerad is alone. He doesn't notice that Amanda is with him. And so he rushes past her with his pistol aimed at Jerad. And suddenly, blam, Amanda shoots the guy. And this, unfortunately, unalives him. Meanwhile, police, they're already at the location of the first shooting, Cece's Pizza, and they get alerted about this new incident at Walmart, and so now they have to go there. And one officer arrives and he enters the store and he sees Amanda, and blam, blam, they start shooting at each other. And then Jerad joins in, and then blam, Amanda gets shot in the back near her shoulder and she's hurt. But the revolution, I guess, must continue. So she lies down on the floor between the aisles while Jerad is still shooting. And more officers have arrived, and at one point, Jerad sees one of them and blam, he fires. And blam, the officer shoots back, and they hit Jerad in the chest and he falls to the ground. And so at this point, they've been in this shootout for 24 minutes. And Jerad, he actually dies from being shot in the chest. And Amanda, she must know that there's no way out of this. And so she starts shooting at Jerad to make sure that he's dead. And then she unalives herself.